Welcome back to another Porsche Car Whisperer video. For those of you with the 2020 Taycan, I'm sure you're aware that there is a major update that has come out with your vehicle. So today I'm going to be going over what are going to be some of those changes that you're going to find as part of that update, as well as what can you expect as soon as you get your car back from the service department. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so I'm going to go and start off by what are going to be some of the changes that you're going to find in updates to your model year 2020 Taycan. And then I'm going to go over what are some of the things you should expect as soon as you get your Taycan back from service. I'm not usually one for notes, but this is about a 30-page update that the Porsche technician has to follow. So I just have some of the updates here that I'm going to go through with you guys. So the first thing is, under the charging section, is the expansion of the charging planner. It's now possible to set the charge level at which your vehicle should reach the specified destination or location. So in the past, I would recommend that you would set your location, if you're kind of going out in the wilderness, to the closest Electrify America charging station. Now, when you get to that location, you can set the destination. So for example, if I'm going from here in Southern California and I want to go to Las Vegas, as soon as I reach Las Vegas, I can have the charging planner set it. As soon as I reach Las Vegas, I want to be at 75%, and now I can do that with this update. I did a previous video on this when I was talking about the 2021 Taycan, as this feature was not to the 2020 yet. If you guys want to check out that video, the link will be right up here above. And something else we're going to find is during the charging process with the active route guidance, the vehicle and the app can also display the point at which the charge level needed for the rest of the route is reached, and it is possible to resume driving. So you can stop at one of those charging stations, and then it will immediately tell you that you don't need to continue charging at that specific location. So before, we would stop at Electrify America charging station, it would charge us all the way up, and then we continue on. Now it will notify us as soon as we have the navigation set to a specified location, and it will tell us when we can leave that charging station so we can continue on our route and we don't need to stay at that charging station quite as long. There's also improved charging at the home and simplified logging into the Mobile Charger Connect. So that kind of goes hand in hand with an update that's also coming to the Mobile Charger Connect, and a quick little tip. So as you're taking your Taycan in for this update, there's also an update to the Mobile Charger Connect. So you definitely need to take in your Mobile Charger Connect when you're going in for this update of the Taycan, as it's kind of a two-part campaign. One is called WMA5, the other one is WMA7. That's the one for the Mobile Charger Connect. Another part of the update is the current charge status of the battery is now shown in the Mobile Charger Connect. So just as you're looking at your charger, you'll be able to see what the current charge status is instead of having to look at the center display. Another really cool feature is the charging power can now be reduced from 270 kilowatts down to 200. So I talked about this briefly in that charging planner video I spoke about a moment ago, but you can now limit the rate of charge if you're at a very high output charging station. So I've talked about if you're charging at really high speeds, it's not necessarily good for long-term health of your battery. So now we can limit it. So even if you're at a 350 kilowatt station, the max that the Taycan can charge at is 270, but let's say you want to limit it a little bit more, let's go down to 200. It'll help with battery health over the long run, but you're still charging your Taycan tremendously fast. So that's an awesome feature. And then we also have improved state of charge calculations for optimized real-time range calculation. So just an optimization is as you're driving, as you're seeing your state of charge kind of go down and how many miles you have until zero, it's just going to be more optimized as you're driving, because Porsche did a little bit more research and optimized that part of the software. And then a really, really big one for some of those of you who have had your Taycan die when you've had your charger plugged in at home for an extended period of time. This is a big one. So now the discharge of the 12-volt vehicle electric system battery during charging has now been prevented. So in the past, for some of you who have charged your Mobile Charger Connect overnight and have had the charger plugged into your Taycan for an extended period of time, all of a sudden you come out to your Taycan and your Taycan will be dead because the Mobile Charger Connect killed your 12-volt battery in your Taycan. Now you couldn't start it. So they've done some optimizations to the software to make it so that doesn't happen anymore. That's a major one. I've experienced it firsthand that some of my friends who have Taycans, they've had that happen to them, and it's no fun. So that's a big one. Now, as part of kind of a chassis and driving comfort part of this update is we have the new Smart Lift function. So I did another video when I was talking about the 2021 Taycan that now you can set specific locations to where you want your Taycan to raise based on latitude and longitude. So, and you can save them, like let's say it's your home or your office. As soon as you're approaching a really steep driveway, you can raise your Taycan. Now it'll prompt you to save that location. So Smart Lift is coming to the 2020 Taycans. Then we also have further optimization of the suspension system. It improves driving dynamics at the track performance. So they've just kind of dialed in the adaptive air suspension as well as PASM for all the Taycans. Now the comfort, we got the seat memory storage after restart. So now you can save the seat memories as part of a guest profile. In the past, you couldn't do that. We had a demo Taycan here at my store, and it would always kind of go forward as soon as you started the car. It was acting kind of funny. So now you can set guest profile seat positions as well as side mirror. So that's a nice function, especially for those of you who have a guest that maybe drive your Taycan when you're not driving it under your profile. Some updates as part of the PCM. So now the navigation improvements such as display of online information directly on the PCM as well as lane-specific traffic information. So it'll tell you kind of which lane is best optimized as well as traffic in that specific lane. Wireless Apple CarPlay is also now coming to 2020 Taycan. When you first get your car back from the service department, you're going to have to do a wired plug-in. Then after that, you'll be able to do it wireless from there. But on that first one, once you get your car back from the service department, you're going to want to make sure that it's wired, that you plug it in via a wired connection. Then after that, you won't have to worry about it from there. Also going to include 10 years of this Porsche Connect Care package and breakdown call. You have to activate this from the Connect store after you get your Taycan back from the service department through the My Porsche portal, and you have to accept the terms and conditions, kind of similar to what you had to do when you had to accept the terms and conditions of the Electrify America 3 years up to 30 minutes of free charging. You had to put your credit card in, but you also had to accept the terms and conditions. Otherwise, you wouldn't have that part of the service. So something we have to do now with this Connect Care. The ambient lighting can match the album artwork of the music you're listening to. So the ambient lighting can change based on the music you're listening to. Also have increased functions of function on demand or FOD. So now we can do active lane keep assist as well as Porsche InnoDrive. Now you will need to have adaptive cruise control already installed to be able to do the function on demand. You'll be able to do a trial period, or you can just purchase it and download it to your Taycan and have it for the rest of the life of the vehicle. So that's an awesome new features that are coming to the Taycan is the function on demand. And small little tidbits here is the functionality of the navigation system has been optimized, so there's just more stability. Kind of like if you have an Android or Apple iPhone, there's always little bug fixes and just helps the stability overall. Same thing's coming to the PCM, as well as the starting and performance behavior of both of the central displays. They've just been optimized just a little bit. And then we've got just a couple more little small updates here as part of the digital cockpit display. So that's your instrument cluster. Various software optimizations prevent the sporadic, short-lived display of various messages and thus improve the overall driving experience. It's all pretty small. The starting behavior and performance of the instrument cluster are improved, so sometimes it was taking a long time as soon as you turned on your Taycan for the instrument cluster to come on. Now it's just going to be improved a little bit, so maybe speed it up a little bit. And then the sporadic loading spinners and resets are avoided as part of the instrument cluster. Again, just really small stuff as part of that kind of second part of that update. So now some of the things that you should expect when you get your car back from the service. So this takes the technician almost about 9 hours of programming. So it takes some time. And if they don't follow it exactly and there's voltage drops as part of this updating, it's kind of a 4-sequence part, then you can kill some of the control units in the car. So if they don't do it right, they could potentially hurt the PCM. You may need to get a new PCM control unit and whatnot. So please try not to rush your service department when doing this update. I know a lot of us are really excited about this update, but we have to do it very, very by the book. Otherwise, we could have some things happen to your Taycan, and then your Taycan will be in the service department for even longer. So just kind of a quick tidbit there. There's a checklist that you can get from your dealer. As soon as you get your Taycan back from the service department, you can have the service advisor go over it with you, or you can just get the checklist and you can go over it yourself as soon as you get your Taycan back. So as soon as you get your Taycan back, there is going to be some things that you'll find are going to be different. Pretty much all the seat settings, mirror settings, air conditioning settings, set up the tubes that they're calling it as part of the instrument cluster. All that's going to be wiped. So you're going to have to reset all those items as well as HomeLink. I know that's a big pain in the butt, as HomeLink can sometimes be tough to set, but all this is going to have to be reset as soon as you get your Taycan back. Now, when you take your car in for service please try to have it at least 30% and a little bit less than 80%, as that's what the instructions are calling for when doing this update. That'll just help speed up the update and make it a little bit quicker so that the technician doesn't have to charge your Taycan as soon as they get it in if it's too low. So please just try to have it in that range when you take your car in for service. Now, as soon as you get your Taycan back, there's going to be a series of updates that are also going to be available, but that's not going to happen until you have actually logged in to your Taycan using your My Porsche ID account. So you'll have to log back in, kind of similar to what you did when you first got your Taycan. You had to type in your email as well as your password, and that will kind of load your Taycan back to your online profile through the My Porsche portal. So as soon as you get it back, over a period of time, there's going to be 2 updates that the car is going to prompt you to do. But again, it will not do it until you have logged back in to your Taycan via that My Porsche portal. So just something to kind of be aware of. And that's pretty much the extent of it. So there's going to be some things that you're going to have to do that are just going to be lost over the course of the update as soon as you get your Taycan back. Again, ask your service department for this checklist. If you guys have any questions about some of the things that you're going to need to do as soon as you get your Taycan back. But it's kind of goes hand in hand. For those of us who own the 2020 Taycan and are going into the service department, we kind of have to work hand in hand to make sure this update is optimized and get your Taycan with all these awesome new updates that are coming to it as part of this update. So hope this is just a quick little overview for you guys as what you can expect with this WMA5 update, as well as the WMA7, where you bring in your Mobile Charger Connect as part of this update. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. As always, I really appreciate you guys watching these videos. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Test, 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 test. I think I want to go one more time. Let's go again.